A VPN, short for Virtual Private Network, is a privacy protection tool that is quickly becoming a must-have. But why do you need a VPN, and how does it work in the first place? A VPN helps your data travel through the internet safely, without big companies or cybercriminals being able to spy on your online activities. Also, a VPN swaps the real location of your device with a new one. This way, you can virtually travel to any country around the globe. So, who can benefit from a VPN? If you're worried about your online privacy, a VPN makes sure your identity and private information are not exposed when you go online. If digital security is your top priority, a VPN gives a nice additional layer of security. It encrypts your data so nobody could see what you send and receive. If you are a human rights activist whose freedom of speech is restricted, a VPN helps you to bypass censorship and speak to the world. Or, if you're on holiday in another country, with a VPN, you can bring your home entertainment anywhere you go. Here's a pro tip: check out Surfshark VPN. It has everything you need in a premium VPN, awesome speeds, and industry-leading protection that covers all of your devices. All you have to do is click connect. Secure your digital life and enjoy everything good that the internet has to offer with a VPN you can trust.
Click link in the description and get 81% discount for your first order. Choosing when to oil a deck. Age new wood for 6 to 8 weeks before applying the oil. The manufacturer recommends that you let new wood age for at least 6 weeks before you apply Ipe oil. This happens naturally as your deck is exposed to the elements. For previously stained or treated decks, the oil can be applied right away. Wait until no rain is expected for the next 2 days. Not only does the wood need to be dry, but it needs to stay dry after you apply the oil. To avoid water spots, give the oil adequate time to dry. Check the weather forecast for your area first, then apply the oil when you are sure you will have an extended period of dry weather. At the very least, the oil needs a full day to dry. Giving it an extra day ensures it dries completely. Choose a day when the temperature is between 45 to 90 deg F7 to 32 deg C. Extreme temperatures ruin the oil finish, leaving you with an unsightly mess. For the best results, work on a warm, clear day. Try to choose a day when the temperature is closer to the middle of that range than the extremes. Avoid applying the oil if the wood is hot to the touch. Feel the wood with your fingers before you begin spreading the oil. Trust your fingers. If the wood feels hot, it is hot enough to distort the oil finish. If you are working under a full sun, chances are the wood will be too hot. Preparing the area. Cover nearby concrete and plants with plastic. To avoid stains and damage to these areas, lay out plastic before you begin applying the oil. You can get plastic sheets from most home improvement stores. Use it to cover grass, bushes, walkways, and driveways adjacent to the deck. This is especially useful if you plan on spraying the oil onto the deck, since the oil is likely to splatter. Rinse off the deck with a hose. Spray off all the dirt and debris. You want the wood to be free of anything that can interfere with the finish. This includes leaves, twigs, and mold. Make sure you get any dirt stuck between boards. Use a wood cleaner to remove tough stains. If you notice any damaged spots, particularly from mold, mildew, or algae, try a wood cleaner. Visit a home improvement store to choose a product designed for wood or decks. All you have to do is spread it over the wood directly from the bottle, then rinse it off after about 10 minutes. You may want to choose a biodegradable cleaner, especially if you are cleaning a deck near a lawn or garden. You can also try making your own wood cleaner out of 2 US gal 7.6 L of warm water, 16 FL as 470 ml of powdered oxygen bleach, and 2 FL as 59 ml of liquid detergent. Dry the deck for up to 48 hours. The wood needs to dry fully before it can absorb the oil. This will take at least 1 day, although you should wait 2 days to make sure. Check that the wood is dry to the touch before you continue. Wet wood leads to water stains underneath the oil, so wait for the deck to dry completely. Put on a respirator. gloves, and goggles. To avoid fumes from the Ipe oil, put on a respirator before you open the can. Wear goggles to avoid getting oil in your eyes. Also, wear long clothing and a pair of gloves so you don't get any oil on your skin. Using the oil. Stir the oil thoroughly. Stir the oil with a wooden mixing stick. This will prevent particles in the oil from settling at the bottom of the can. If you have multiple canisters, it helps to mix them all together to ensure the oil is as uniform as possible. You can pour the canisters into a large bucket in order to mix the oil together. Dip a paint roller into the oil. A 3/8 in 0.95 cm nap roller is an appropriate choice for most decks. You can also use a paintbrush, stain brush, or staining pad. However, rollers are the easiest way to quickly and evenly coat large areas. If you need to, pour the oil into a tray so you can coat the roller with oil. You can also use a spray gun. Be aware, though, that you will need to go over the wood with a paint roller to smooth out the coating. Roll the oil along the wood's grain. Look closely at the wood to see the direction of the grain. Always apply Ipe oil along the grain. Paint over one wood board at a time. If possible, avoid stopping until you reach the end of the board. Rub excess oil into the grain after 5 minutes. Use a clean, dry cloth rag. Look for any signs of excess oil, such as pooled liquid on top of the wood. Rub the rag along the wood's grain in these areas. It will work more oil into the wood while absorbing some of the excess. The rag's color shouldn't matter, although you can use a white rag if you are worried about the dye bleeding into the wood. Oil-soaked rags are flammable, so the rag cannot be cleaned or reused. Let the oil dry for 45 minutes. Once you have removed as much excess oil as possible, give the oil time to soak into the wood. Wait at least 30 minutes and no more than 45 minutes. After 45 minutes, the remaining excess oil may dry up and become difficult to remove. The soaking time can vary a little depending on the weather. It will dry slower in cooler temperatures. Wipe up any oil remaining on the wood. Go back over the wood with a dry rag. Note any spots where the oil looks thick, wet, or pooled. Scrub the wood along the grain again to absorb the oil. When you are finished, the wood should look dry with a matte finish. The finished wood should look dark and even. Spots that look wet or shiny have excess oil. Dispose of the roller and rag in a sealed container. Store the used items in a shaded area until you are able to prepare the container. Use a resealable metal container, such as the Ipe oil canister. Fill the container with water. Place the oil-coated items inside it, then seal it. Oil-coated items can combust, so they should not be stored in direct sunlight. You can take the container to a hazardous waste disposal center or arrange for a special pickup with your regular garbage disposal service. Reapply Ipe oil every year if you want to renew the finish. Ipe oil fades over time. This means your wood surface will begin to look a little plain and gray. To renew the finish, reapply the oil every 1 or 2 years using the same technique. If you don't mind the discoloration, you do not need to reapply the oil. The wood will still be protected by the first coating. Apply Ipe oil no more than once a year. This prevents the tacky look caused by excess oil.